Hello everyone, I'd like to welcome all of you here today. I know what you're wanting me to tell you right now is whether there's school tomorrow. That's what everyone is asking about. But I don't know. I've wanted there to be school for days and days. So. And if you've been on Facebook, you'll see what I've been going through. But first of all, I would like to thank each of you for being here with us today. It's always wonderful to be together for such a momentous occasion like this. It's wonderful to be together for something good. This state-of-the-art facility represents a commitment to providing our students with hands-on and focused learning opportunities. And one thing I wanted to mention too is this facility is not just for high school students, it's for middle school students as well. We will bring in the middle school students at times, so it's for more than just LA. It's for our whole county. I would like to also begin by thanking someone, Miss Leslie Riddle. Let's give her a round of applause. And I assure you, I will hear about this when we get back to the office. But I would like to thank her for having the vision for such a large undertaking. Thank you for all the hard work and the planning that you put forward. I would also like to thank the school board for having the foresight to ensure that we could make this happen. They had to do their part in numerous ways as well, and I certainly appreciate that. I would also like to thank Kelly Coleman and the staff at Mid-State Construction for being so helpful and good to work with. And also, I'd like to thank the CTE teams, the teachers here at the high school, the career coaches, and the ISM planning committee. It's took everybody working together on this, and you all have done really well. I may have done a nickel's worth, but you all have done really, really well. I also want to thank Mr. Brent Thrasher and his IT team. They've been so helpful and supportive in getting all this wonderful technology that we have set up. And like I was talking to someone a minute ago, when you do things, there's always little hiccups, and Brent is always good to call at any time when you have an issue. I moved his office closer to mine so that I could yell at him more easily, and I think he wishes he was back farther away. But and a heartfelt thank you to everyone who contributed to making this vision a reality. Your support and impact will make an impact for generations to come. And that's, I think, the most important sentence. Look at what this is going to do for generations to come of our students in our district. For generations and generations. It's really wonderful. So thank you for anyone that's had any part in doing this. Thank you.
Yes, he will thank you that later. So I'm Leslie Riddle, CTE Director for Albany County Schools. This has been an undertaking. Lots and lots and lots of people to thank, and I don't want to start naming people because I'm sure I'll miss people. But what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about this funding that allowed this, and the ISM, the Innovative School Model that allowed this, and some other things that we're doing with the Innovative School Model. Okay, when I finish, then we'd like to actually do the ribbon cutting, and we want to do that out in back in the lobby out here. So we're going to shoo everybody out, and then we're going to set this back up so you can see the functionality of this room. Right now, it's wide open and looks like one big room, but we're going, when you guys go out, the workers are going to go to work, and we're going to put out all the partitions, and you're going to see how it can change just in an instant, and the different functions of this building. And that's something that was really a goal of ours, to have something the Livingston Academy could use to do lots and lots of things. So that's going to be our schedule. I'm not going to talk long, I promise. I don't like to publicly speak, so I'll be done quickly. Then we'll go out, we'll do the ribbon cutting. I think Shannon's going to have a few words for us, and thank you to that. And then we'll come back in and we'll break into some groups and do some tours. And we have the CTE teachers that are in each of these labs, and they're going to introduce you to their lab a little bit. We need their expertise to explain the kind of things in their lab, because I certainly don't know. If you picked up a program out there, an agenda, on the back of it, there's lots of people that we wanted to thank. And of course, the ISM team, that was a group. When Governor Lee announced the innovative school model and Overton County Schools was about to get $3.2 million and it had to be gone in this amount of time, there was a little bit of a panic. We're great to have, wonderful to have all that money, but what do you do with that? So as we started talking, we got so excited about all the things we could do for the middle school, for the high school. There was a restriction on building, the amount of money, the percentage of the money that you could put into building something. So we couldn't just say, okay, we're going to take $3.2 million and we're going to build a building. We couldn't do that. So we could only use a certain portion of that. And we'll talk about that in a minute, how that came about. But we had to work, each middle school got $500,000. Wilson got $200,000 because they're a little smaller, but each of the other middle schools got $500,000, and then Wilson got the $200,000. So we had a lot of money to spend on the middle schools. So we had to come up with a focus there. So the ISM team we met weekly for a long time, trying to just come up with a plan. We talked about the innovative school model being a 4-year grant. Well, it really wasn't, because we didn't get the money to almost the end of the first year, and I bet we didn't spend $200,000 of that money in the first year. So we're fervently trying to spend money and get the things that we really need, instead of just buying something that's going to lay around and not be hands-on, not be used. So we're still in that process. But anyway, we got $3.2 million. And what we were told with this money is, you need to focus on CTE, you need to focus on careers, you need to focus on your community, your region, the high demand, high wage job opportunities in your area. So when we started meeting and doing that, we talked about what can we do in the middle schools. And the question that kept coming to our mind and was presented to us from the state was, how can you make your middle schools look different? How do you make schools look different for middle school students? Well, how do we do that? We put careers in front of them all the time. We put what the opportunities that they're going to have at Livingston Academy, put that in front of those middle school students all the time. So we've hired a couple of career coaches, and they're in there with those students all the time, weekly. And then we've been able to build what we're calling micro labs. And what it is these CTE teachers in the high school level have created, like this is a major health science lab. Well, we have micro labs of health science that rotate between the middle schools, and they're presented by the career coaches, and it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that, so they can play with it. And so they're being introduced to careers that are in high demand in our region, and they can either say, wow, I've fallen in love with that, or I don't want to do that at all. And both of those are wins, we think. I mean, a student ruling something out is as much a win as picking what they want to do. So at the middle school level, that's what we've done. In our middle schools, I don't know how aware you are of certain middle schools. These things are going on everywhere. We have robots, we have health science, we have cosmetology, we have businesses that the students are running, coffee shops, t-shirt shops, things like that. They're learning to sew, they're learning to broadcast, they're cooking, they're teaching, they're doing photography, they're doing woodworking, they're doing landscaping and gardening, graphic design. I probably missed several things. But they're rotating through these things at the schools. So every kid's getting to just taste a little bit of something. And our hope is by the time they get to Livingston Academy, they have a pretty good idea of where they want to go and what they want to do. So when they get here, they don't waste time in classes that they're not interested in. So if they decide, I want to be a welder, we have a welding simulator at one of the middle schools too. If I want to be a welder, I'm going to be over at TCAT as soon as I can, and possibly I'm going to be done with welding at the same time I finish my high school diploma, and I'm going straight to work. So that's our goal, to have those answers more quickly. So that's what's going on in the middle school. Now the high school in this building. At the high school level, of course, I was at Livingston Academy for 20 years, and I got to see what our CTE people were doing. I knew they were great. They've been great. They've always been great. And the kids that have these CTE teachers, they're like their second set of parents. They take care of them. They love them. They love what they're doing. They're into it, whatever. But the questions came back to, is it time? Is it space? Or is it mode of learning? What can we do at the high school level to change the way the high school looks to students? Livingston Academy's problem is space. It's space. A lot of the equipment that you see in here right now, we already had. Livingston Academy already had it, not these. But the stuff in the labs, we already had that. They just didn't have anywhere to put it. And I knew that from my experience of being here. So I said, we just got to find space. Livingston Academy didn't have space to do anything. I mean, a building built in 1976 with one little addition, and they didn't have space. So that's what this was for. We wanted to create labs for CTE, the teachers that didn't have the space. So they could have their class in there, they could come out here and have their labs. So health science, for example, you know, Alicia Reader may be teaching 3 days a week and then be out here 2 days a week, and they're almost doing clinicals, you know, at the high school level, which is such a blessing. I mean, you see this at Ball State, you see it at some of the community colleges, you see it at TCAP, but not many high schools. So we're really excited about that opportunity. But as the ISM team started to meet and this came about, we started sketching. I'm sketching, ISM team saying, that won't work, why don't you add this? I'm sketching, coming up with different things. Then when we had the bid process, the money came up really short. We knew our restrictions with the ISM grant, and at the time, we know that's when everything got so expensive. So I just went to Dr. Holman, and we ended up with Mike Hayes, who was the chair of the building committee at the time, and I said, guys, I don't know what to do. I mean, when you cut it way back, we were going to lose the functionality of what we want, and I don't think that's what we want to do, and thank goodness Dr. Holman, the board, had the foresight to say, you know what, if we can get a $2 million building, and us only have to pay maybe half of it, that's the right thing to do for the school. That's the right thing to do for the students. And that's where we are. If that hadn't happened, we wouldn't be in this nice of a building. I mean, we would still have something, but it wouldn't be this nice. So I'm very grateful to work in a cooperative group that sometimes sees the bigger picture. So that's where we came up with the extra money. So we talked about how we're going to use the labs, functionality, space. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about ISM or where we are in the process or anything like that? I'm super excited. I think the teachers, when it opened, the teachers were teaching every day, and they were like, we don't really have time to come out there and do. But now that we've had time to come out and set some things up and see what it's going to be looking like, I think the teachers are going to be really excited. I can't wait to see the students out here and get some things like that. But I'm super excited about ISM. This is a passion of mine, being a high school person my whole career. I mean, that's our job. As high school teachers, as high school administration, whatever, our job is to say, you are ready when you leave this building for whatever you want to do. And I think this building better equips our students to do that. So that's what I'm so excited about. Okay, thank you very much. We were going to shoo out everybody to do our ribbon cutting outside. And